Examining evidence with FTK Imager. That is, viewing evidence items. Hello and welcome back. And in this class, we will be looking at examining the evidence with FTK Imager. So in this class, we will be initially looking at viewing evidence items, and so we are going to have some demonstration on how to add evidence items like E01 image file, png.ad1 file and jpg.ad1 file. And even along with this, how to mount an image with forensic workstation. What is this mount an image? That means the mount is a command that will take the raw logical image and mount it onto a specified directory of choice to be able to examine the contents of that image. That is nothing but mount. So we are going to mount an image with the forensic workstation. Okay. That means accessing its content as it was recorded on a physical medium. Let's take a look at viewing evidence items with FTK Imager. In this clip, we are working with evidence and we are looking at the way that we can preview the evidence with FTK Imager. There are two ways that you can include the images within the toolset. One is to add an evidence item and mount an image. The evidence item, this will give you the ability to use a full preview of the image. And the most recent version of FTK Imager have included the ability to mount an image. Okay. This can either be a physical or a logical mount point. This then allows you to natively view the contents of the image that you have created. It is also very straightforward to share and view the mounted images with Windows Explorer. You can easily copy the files and see the underlying properties just as if a user could. To maintain the integrity of the image, however, this are read-only mount. What is this read-only mount? Which means able to be accessed but not modified. Okay, we can access it, we can see it, but we cannot edit or alter or modify the files. That is nothing but read-only mount. It just allows the user to read the file. That's it, that you are going to create. Okay. So let's dive in and have a demonstration to show us how to view evidence items by first adding an evidence item. Then we are going to create a mount point and mount an image and see the variations that you can use with FTK Imager. And so here I am on my forensic workstation, which has a copy of FTK Imager locally installed on it. I can now start to work on the images that we have captured from the suspect's machine over the previous modules, right? Now, before we begin this operation, with the fact that I am not likely to be working directly on the original images that I took from suspect's machine and indeed will have either re-imaged them or created a copy. FTK Imager allow me to do just this by actually creating a disk image from the image file. But of course, this will also take some time to complete. As I have already completed this task for the demonstration, I'm going to cancel away from that. Okay. In this demonstration, we are going to be looking at adding our images to the console. And there are two ways that we can do this. As with everything that we have seen so far, I can either use the tools menu and the icons that are installed on it. So for example, add evidence item, or I can use the drop down from the file menu, which allow me to do the same thing, right? And here you can see the top. At the top, I have the ability to add an evidence item. I'm going to go ahead and add an evidence item, and this will be the image file that we took from the suspect's machine in a previous demonstration. So I'm going to simply follow the wizard and then select the location. I'm now going to open the initial E01 file that was taken from the suspect's computer, and that will allow me to add this to evidence tree in the FTK module. You can also see that this allow me to start to go through, and I can check to make sure that the evidence item has been successfully installed by seeing the folders in it that we gathered up from the suspect's machine. And you may remember that this were the system partition, the C drive, or the working partition from the machine which we imaged. I can also see that this is now starting to populate the other panes within the FTK Imager, and this is something that we are going to deal with in the next clip. Okay. So to simply remove the evidence item, once I have conducted my forensic analysis of it, I can either remove it from the toolbar, or I can once again use the drop down menu from the file menu, and I can then select remove the evidence item. If I have more than one evidence item in the pane, then I can remove all of them at the same time by using remove all evidence items, and that's a very straightforward process. Further to this, I can then also add the other images that we created, and so within this environment I can also add an evidence item. The image file this time is going to be the custom content image that we took from the suspect machine earlier, that is .jpg and png one, right? This is within my hard disk and in a folder called the custom image, that is jpg. You can see that this is a far smaller image. Once I select the jpg 81 file, I can then open that and add that once again to the evidence tree within FTK. Let me expand the jpg 81 file. We can see the administrator under the user if we further expand it. We can able to find a jpg file located in cached files. There are some files that are located in the pictures folders as well, like flying.jpg, my laptop, and trip.jpg. In the next module, we will be looking at how to view files in text and hex format. This is how we can add the 81 file. Let me remove this jpg and let's add png 81 file. Once again, we are in the hard disk and in a folder called custom image, that is png now. This is also a far smaller image as jpg. Once I select the png 81 file, I can then open that and add that once again to the evidence tree within FTK. You may remember that rather than taking a bit by bit copy from Dolly's machine, the suspect, we were only interested in the PNG and JPGs which were held under Dolly's local folder. And so this image will only allow me to see and invariably then investigate further the images which are held under Dolly's folder. And so here I can see the two locations which were gathered up from the custom content image that we created before. And once again, we will take a look at searching through this in the next clip. Let me remove this evidence item. Next, coming to the image mounting process. The other option that we have is to mount an image. So again, I'm going to use the drop down menu from file and this time select image mounting. This will then take me over to the mount image to drive selection. Once again, I would need to locate the image file that I was looking to mount. And so I will mount the suspect PC image from the E01 file we created earlier. I now have several options available to me in the type of mount that is available to me. As this is a full image, I have the full mount type available to me, which are physical, logical, physical only, or logical only. I repeat, physical and logical, physical only or logical only. You can even see on the screen. If I mount an image using the physical option here, I would need to use an additional application that allow me to use physical name querying on the image. Okay. If I mount the drive using logical, however, I can use the built-in feature of Windows Explorer to search and locate the different files that I have been interested in. And so for this example, I have the Windows workstation. So I'm going to select logical only so that I can use the feature of Windows Explorer to open the mount image in my system. You can see that then gives me the ability to select an appropriate drive letter, or it selects the next available. And in this case, it is the F drive, as Windows has already allotted C, D, E, I guess drives to different drives. So now in this case, it is F drive. And then I also have the option of selecting the mount method. The three options that are available to me are block device or read only, next block device or writable, and file system or read only. So coming to the top two, that is block device or read only and block device or writable. This top two are used for mounted drives, which are physical drives. Okay. The bottom one, that is the file system or read only, which allows me to take a look at the file system. But once again, you can see that this is a read-only copy that I would be able to access. If I had a physical mounted drive, I am able to write to a cached area, and so this would be blocked device or writable. Using that option, you can see it enables the write cache folder. I would then be able to select an appropriate folder where the cache is created should I wish to make any writable entries onto the suspect image. It does not, however, alter the actual image itself. I'll put mine back to file system read only. And then select mount. If I close down my window and come back onto my desktop, I can now enter into File Explorer on the local machine. And I can see that all of these drives have now been allocated to the local Windows machine. And so I can see the F drive, which has now been mounted locally and successfully. From my previous investigation, I understand that it is the central drive, the F drive, which has invariably got all of the information that I'm looking for. And so if I was to locate the folders of interest by using normal Windows Explorer tool and search function within here, I would then be able to locate and indeed analyze the data within it. Once again, we will take a closer look at this in an upcoming clip. Once I have completed my analysis, I would then need to come into image mounting. I would need to select the drives which I wish to unmount and simply unmount them. That then frees the mounted image away from the windows. It will unmount them. And so closing this down and coming back into Windows Explorer would show the fact that these are no longer available to the local machine. In the next clip, we will be adding evidence items and mounting them, and then taking a closer look at how to search and filter the results. That's it. Thank you.